I start by dabbing soft, rounded shapes to suggest the leaves, then use a fine brush to loosely indicate the flower clusters. After that, I paint the pot and add some soft shadows to complete the simple and charming abstract style floral. So join me as we paint this loose and expressive watercolor geranium in a pot. To begin, I mix yellow ochre with Prussian blue, adding more yellow to create a light green shade. This soft green is then used to paint the leaves in a loose, rounded shapes. I make sure the leaf stays damp a little longer so that when I drop in the shadow color next, it softly blends into that area without bleeding across the entire leaf. All the leaves I painted are still wet. Next I'm adding Prussian blue to create the shadow areas, letting the color to softly blend into the applied section without spreading across the entire leaf. I mix Prussian blue with little vermilion hue to get a muted bluish gray and use it to paint the inner leaves, the ones tucked beneath the others. These areas are naturally darker and adding this subtle layer helps to create a sense of depth in the painting. Next I use vermilion hue without mixing it with any other pigment to paint the geranium flowers. Its rich saturated color brings out the vibrancy of the blooms beautifully. Now I'm mixing vermilion hue with a small amount of Prussian blue to create a warm brown shade which is used to paint the shadow areas of the flowers. Next I'm using the same warm brown shade to paint the rim of the pot. Then, with a lighter value of that brown shade, I paint the entire structure of the pot. Next, using the darker value of that same brown shade, I paint the shadow areas on the pot. Now, using a dark value of Prussian blue, I paint the shadow beneath the pot and extend it outward to create the cast shadow. As the cast shadow moves away from the pot, its values gradually lightens. While painting the cast shadow, I make sure there are no hard edges. If there are any hard edges, I soften them with a clean, damp brush. Next, I use a bluish gray shade made by mixing Prussian blue with a small amount of vermilion hue to fill the white gap beneath the plant. Now that the pot area is starting to dry, I add the shadows of the hanging leaves on the pot using the bluish gray shade. And that's it. We have reached the end of this painting process. I hope you enjoyed watching it. If you did, give it a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel for more watercolor painting content. See you in another video. Until then, take care and bye bye from Prema.